The Rangers defeat the Penguins 4-2 thanks to Chris Kreider scoring 2 goals in the third period. One of them was an empty net goal, and these were goals 29 and 30. So Chris Kreider reaches the 30-goal mark, and that was something that eluded him for a lot of his career. Would come close a bunch, never got it until last year he got 52, and then this year gets 30. And I think that's actually, impressive because maybe Kreider could have just completely reverted back to the way he had been, but obviously he wasn't going to replicate what he did last year. That just was not going to happen. But still, with how many games left? The Rangers are 39, 19, and 10. So with about 14 games remaining, Kreider's at the 30-goal mark, and he even missed a few games as well. But the Rangers, they played well in this game. And really, if not for the empty net goal, it could have been another 3-2 Penguin-Ranger result. The first 2 Penguin-Ranger games this year, the Penguins won 3-2 in Pittsburgh. This one's at MSG, and the Rangers won. And what was good was quick responses, where Pittsburgh tied it up. In both instances, the Rangers would score goals less than 3 minutes after the Penguins were to tie the game. So, solid win. As far as Pittsburgh catching the Rangers, even if Pittsburgh beats the Rangers on Saturday in regulation, I still don't see the Penguins catching the Rangers. That's just what it is. And the Rangers are not going to finish, below third. Barring something catastrophic, the Rangers are not going to finish below third in the Metropolitan Division. And it's a matter of whether it's Carolina or the Devils. As we speak right now, it's more likely the Rangers would face the Devils, but still, like I said, 14 games left for the Rangers. There is still some time left to see what will happen there. But Rangers, got off to a good start, I thought, again, and it's good to see them playing well at home. Mika Zibanejad with another early goal. The lineup was the same. Igor net again, and Ryan Lindgren out again. So that's 9 straight games for Lindgren. And really, there is no need to rush him back. There really isn't. So, next game versus the Pens on Saturday, you don't have to have him back in there. Like, at this point, let him heal. Let him heal. The Rangers are starting to gel a bit. The lines are starting to come together. And a line that's really impressed me of late has been the Zibanejad line with Panarin and Tarasenko. Vlad Tarasenko has really impressed me. Got up to a little bit of a slow start, needed to get into the groove, but Tarasenko, he's doing things not on the stat sheet that are impressive. Just the way he plays, and you could tell the effort is there. And I think with St. Louis, I just think he was there for so long, and I think he wanted out. They won the cup, obviously, and I think Blues fans remember Tarasenko fondly, but I think he's rejuvenated now being a Ranger. And it would be great to somehow bring him back. I just don't see how that's going to be possible from a cap standpoint, but I really like what I've seen. So the Rangers score early. At 2:51, it's Zibanejad scoring his 35th goal of the season from Panarin and Tarasenko. So Zibanejad, 5 goals away from 40, and if he stays healthy, he should reach that mark. But Mika with a really nice goal, scoring past Tristan Jarry on a breakaway, where he came in from the left side and just snapped it above Jarry's glove. And that's Jarry's weakness, but that's also Mika's strength. And so Mika gives Rangers a 1-0 lead. Really nice pass by Panarin to set Zibanejad free. But then also before that, Tarasenko makes a nice defensive play where if Tarasenko doesn't make that play, Pittsburgh all of a sudden has a great scoring chance. So, that whole line does a great job there. The Rangers have a 1-0 lead. In the first, there was an injury to Jeff Petrie where Tyler Motte was involved. Motte didn't do anything intentionally. I think Pittsburgh may have felt that he did, but Jeff Petrie left the game. So Pittsburgh was only playing with 5 defensemen, and so that made things tougher for them. And then also Motte left the game after Pierre-Olivier Joseph, I guess, kind of shouldered Motte, but he ended up being okay. And in the moment I'm thinking, and Motte actually looked good before that, and we'll talk about Motte as he's very much involved in this game. But in the moment, I'm thinking, Motte is just so injury prone, and he's kind of just an energizer bunny. He plays really hard, really fast, and he does have a concussion history. So it was a pleasant surprise to see him return immediately, because I'm thinking, all right, he's out. We may not see him for a bit, but Motte would return. There was only a couple of power plays in this game, both for the Rangers, and no goals for the Rangers on the power play. At 5:36, Marcus Pettersson high six Zibanejad, but the Rangers don't score. And yeah, Rangers have a 1-0 lead end to one. It was a good period. Honestly, Jari made a lot of good saves. Rangers could have been up by definitely more than one. We head to the second. And in the second, Pittsburgh plays better. Pittsburgh plays better. It's not that the Rangers played bad, but Pittsburgh played a little bit more sound, more responsible defensively. And Pittsburgh eventually ties it up at 14:40 of the second. Rickard Rakell scores his 24th goal of the season, assisted by Sidney Crosby. This was a bad play by Kreider. Crosby anticipated the Miller pass. Miller was trying to find Trouba behind the net, and it's a bad turnover, and Rakell's wide open in front and scores. So Rakell makes it 1-1, but Tyler Motte, 2 minutes and 13 seconds later, scores his first regular season goal as a Ranger. So even though he was on the team last year for a bit, and he's been on the team this year, the only goals he had as a Ranger was in the playoffs. So this is kind of, in some ways, Tyler Motte's first goal as a Ranger. It's his fourth goal on the season when you combine it with the Ottawa Senators. It was a bad turnover by Joseph. So Miller makes the bad turnover, then Joseph does, and Motte scores 5-hole against Jari, and the Rangers take a 2-1 lead. Then Pittsburgh takes a penalty late in the second, as Pettersson is the one who is guilty again. He holds Kakko. And, the Rangers, that power play goes into the third period, but they don't score, so it stays 2-1. And then eventually, the fourth line is on for the Rangers, and I thought they played pretty well, but they had a long shift, and eventually, Jake Guentzel ties it up at 2. Guentzel scores his 30th goal of the season from Crosby and Rakell. That line was looking really good, and it's probably one where Igor went step back. Igor with a solid game, 30 saves on 32 shots, so Igor was pretty good. But that's probably one where Igor would want to have it back. But like I said, the team was struggling in that situation. Guentzel was wide open, and he scores 5-hole. So Pittsburgh matching the Rangers. But then the Rangers take the lead, and they would keep that lead. It's Chris Kreider scoring his 29th goal of the season from Fox and Kane. So Kane quietly has, I believe, 6 points in 7 games as a Ranger. And this was a play where Kane gets it back to the point. Fox puts it on net, and Kreider buries it in front. Kreider, picks up sort of the loose change. It goes off his skate, and he scores past Jari. And the Rangers take a 3-2 lead. Pittsburgh would have opportunities to tie it up. Sturka made some good saves. And eventually, Kreider scores again. It's an empty net goal. It's his second goal of the night, 30th goal of the season. So, interesting that Guentzel and Kreider both get their 30th in the third. Trocheck and Zibanejad get assists. And so with 50 seconds left, the Rangers take a 4-2 lead, and they would win by that 4-2 score. Like I mentioned, the Rangers improve their record to 39, 19, and 10, and they're kind of in no man's land. They are 10 points out of Pittsburgh, and they are 7 points behind the Devils. So thus why, I'm of the belief that they will stay in that spot. And look, but the best thing is, because I'm not really looking at the results in terms of win-loss. I'm not factoring that in so much. It's more so how they look, and they have looked better. The last couple games, they've looked a lot better. Tonight was a good game. Whereas the Washington game, I kind of feel like they played so well in the first, and then I feel like they kind of dipped. Here, look, Pittsburgh was in it. The Rangers didn't kill them, of course, but the Rangers were the better team. They were, and they win. So now, a rare situation, similar to the 56-game schedule in 2021, where teams would play twice at the same venue back to back, and that's what's happening here. Penguins at Rangers again, and this will be interesting. Look, Pittsburgh's desperate. Pittsburgh is right, they're in right now for the playoffs, but it's close. It's close for them. So that's going to be a challenging game for sure, and one in which it should be. Penguins Ranger games are very good, and so you'd expect it to be a close game. Pittsburgh's going to be hungry, remember. And also Pittsburgh, they lost to Montreal on Tuesday at home. So, yeah, they have a 2-game losing streak. So we'll see what happens here. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if this maybe goes to overtime, right? That could very well play itself out. And then the Rangers have a home-and-home against Carolina, and that should be very interesting as well. But again, Chris Kreider, a couple goals. The Zibanejad line looking good. And the Rangers win it. They beat Pittsburgh for the first time this season. It was the first game at MSG between these two teams since Game 7 last year, where Panarin scored the overtime clinching goal. But here, another good game, and we'll see what happens as these teams lace them up again at MSG Saturday night.